All right. Here we go. Take one, action.
What's up, y'all? This is the 2016 Infiniti 2.0, the very first one to be modded ever. We're gonna show you how to do with some RSR lowering springs for today. I'm Tony. That dude over there is Tyler. Yoshi, show yourself in the camera. My man.
So we're gonna do RSR lowering springs. So in the package, when you order from online, it should come with the rear spring, the front spring, and just 4 sets of them.
Shit.
You need 4 springs total.
So the tools you be needing is just an assortment of sockets, breaker bar, 4 jack stands, a jack stand,
and the impact gun right there.
Quick info about this Q50 so far. Everything's on eBay except for the Nismo wheels, which is awesome, but right now it looks super fucking ugly with the ride height because I can definitely see that it fails the shoe test for sure. Other than that, let's see how it looks. I did have it on BC coils, but it rode like absolute garbage. So let's see how these RSRs go.
By the way, to take off the lugs, it's a 21 millimeter.
Just an FYI, this is a really great tool whenever you're jacking up your car, because if you have the little metal things down here, this helps it from bending it and all the other good shit. So you should get some. It's on Amazon. Oh shit. So now let's start unbolting some bolts, as you would say. First things first, we gotta get these 3 up here. Uno, dos, and tres. You gotta take this little mechanism off, which we already did. There you go. Alright, after you take off those 3 bolts on the top, you want to take off the wishbone suspension bolt right here. That is a 14 millimeter. After that, you want to remove the brake lines so that the line won't stress, and then you're gonna have a 17 millimeter bolt down here for the lower strut. Then you're going to also have one other 17 millimeter bolt right here on the other side, and that's the sway bar end link bolt.
Like dead ass.
Did you see that?
What did you just do?
I hit my cap on the fender, bro. Did you see that?
What did you just do?
I hit my cap on the fender, bro.
What are you doing right now, Tony?
I'm loosening the brake lines.
I'm loosening her pipes.
Yeah, give me her.
So where'd you loosen it from?
There's one right here.
Okay.
There's one behind here. And then there's one right here that goes on right there. Voila! Now we got all that good shit out. You don't really have to go in any order, but now I'm just taking off the other side of the bolt right here. Oh, well. Doesn't look bad. Don't.
Boy!
Now I close this together. Now this is gonna pop open. Make sure you don't go too hard on the paint. Now all that's off. We have that last 17 mil bolt down there that we had to remove. Bolt!
Wait, say it one more time?
Loosening the 17 mil sway bar end link bolt. Bring that ass here, boy. Yep, yeah, I can't loosen it.
Weak. No gains.
More paint off, no gain.
Do you want me to help with this?
Maybe.
What the fuck? I already got my shit off. What's going on? What's going on over there? Yoshi, what's going on?
What's going on? Then you
What's
stop
wrong?
being
What are you trying to do?
Fuckers wearing food. We're supposed to be working on cars. Oh damn! Look at those MB battles though. Yo, let's get going. Alrighty, we're back in action. Alrighty guys, and now we're gonna move 3 bolts up here to 12 millimeter. I have my nifty gun right here. Oh, kind sir. And you just want to break it loose and not actually take it off. That way the suspension doesn't just fall on you.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Amazing what you can do with just 3 bolts.
Wow. Wait, I don't think it goes. Does it go like
It goes literally like this. Because you could see how it looks different on the spring. Look, the skinny side goes at the bottom. Like this. This. Cool.
that? See, this is the type of. Oh, okay.
Dude, why was this time easy, bro? You gotta flex on it.
Oh, cool. Is this one easy? Alright, now we're gonna put these RSR springs on the OEM shocks. Usually, whenever they come, they should give you a sticker. These are the front. And when you're installing them, you want the RSR to be facing upwards, not downwards like this. Okay? So these springs compressor from AutoZone, you can order them, buy them, rent them for $60, so they're pretty good. Other than that, we're gonna take a 19mm and start tightening them. And you want to make sure you do both sides evenly as much as you can, that way it doesn't tilt to one side. Put any extra stress on them, all that stuff. So you kind of want to go back and forth with them. I need to cut it. Alright guys, after we compressed them as tight as we could, we're going to take off the top hat bolt right here. It is a 17mm. Go ahead. Alrighty, it should come off pretty easy now. And once we get that off, we're going to loosen these out and then take out the spring. So give us one quick second, we'll be right back.
So you pull off the top hat, you should be able to pull out the strut.
Oof.
I mean, you gotta take off the spring compressors off the old spring and then reapply the spring compressors onto the new RSR lowering springs and repeat the same process.
And also you want to take this off that goes on the bottom piece of the strut, and we want to remount that to the new spring right here as well. Alright, like Tyler said, we just want to do everything in reverse order now. We're going to put these back on, tighten them, and then reapply that to those, and then put the top hat back on, and then put the bolt for the top hat back on. Alright guys, the springs are fully compressed now. As you can see in here, there's threads showing, so yes, when you know you're good to go. Just a big tip is like, these are going to be super compressed, so I would go for a while before you even check the top part. But now we're going to install that back together and then take these off when we're done. A quick tip about this, whenever you guys are installing the top hat back on, try to line it up with here. As you can see, these bolts are horizontal, and then up here, whatever. Now we got the springs back on here. You want to install these first, that way you can have adjustability when you got this on. So let's go. That we're going to want to put the bottom bolt for the strut back on. It should go in pretty smoothly. Awesome. Now we're going to put the bolt back on the other side. Just kind of hand tighten it right now.
You mean the nut, not the bolt?
Yeah. You know what I mean. Come on, bro. Alright. Brake lines go back to where they were. Alright, brake lines are back in. 1, 2, 3. Now you want to take this bolt, connect these back together like it's a Lego piece. And then after you have that, hold that down, push it in, voila. Put this back in, hand tighten this one too.
What's that called again?
A nut. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. I know like the complex parts, but I don't know between a bolt and a nut, horizontal or vertical. Alright, last but not least is the sway bar end link bolt. Come over around here, Yoshi. Just do a little around the world real quick. The reason why we took this off in the first place is to loosen the tension that is on the strut. Now that we have that back in, we're gonna put the bolt on the other. Damn it, the nut on the other side, and we're gonna hand tighten this one too. Alright, as I let Tyler tighten it, you can personally look up what foot pounds its work it is, but we're just going to do 2 ooga oogas. Go ahead, show them. There's 2 ooga oogas. Alright, now we're finished with the fronts. We're going to do to the rears now. We do have to put on gloves for this part because we don't want to get the headliner dirty. There's going to be 2 clips on both of the seats to get the rear out, and then after that you're going to do some bolts right here. And then for the actual shock itself, you're going to do 1 bolt right here. There's 3 up there inside the interior sway bar end link right here, and then this big thingy majigger right here. I believe that is a rear control arm or a, yeah. What do you think, Tyler? Rear control arm?
I don't know.
Oh, whatever. Let's get going.
All right, to get the rear back seat out, you have to unbolt the 14 millimeter there, right there, right there, right there, 4 times, and there should be a small clip up top where it'd be able to pull the whole backing off.
Lower seat out, top seat out. Now we gotta take off these little metal brackets on here, and then on here it should be 4 of them on each side, and then it's a 10 mil. That way you can reach the 3 bolts inside there. Now that we remove that bracket right there, we see that there's 3 bolts right here, and they're 12 millimeters. So let's go ahead and take that off, then we'll start on the lower part of the shock. All right, sorry about the camera quality, but yeah, you see up here we loosen the 3 bolts, and then we loosen the bolt holding the strut in. We loosened sway bar and link right here. We also loosened, this is actually a tension rod, I believe, so not lower control arm. Lower control arm is that one right there. Other than that, this is ready to move out. As you can see here, it gives us a little wiggle when we push it down. I recommend 2 people doing this one, preferably a fat person to push this down. Alright guys, since it's getting super late at night, we're just gonna say fuck it and not use the spring compressors for this part. Oh fuck. Go, 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 go. Oh, that was it. Yeah, actually guys, don't even use the spring compressor to take it off. Just fucking do that. Fuck it. Hey, but do it at your own risk. I am not responsible. Tyler is not responsible for your idiotic moves. Do not blame anything on us. Don't sue us because we're broke. This is why we call it budget build. Something like that. We'll think of the name later.
3 weeks later.
Alright guys, it's March 22nd. It's a Friday and I'm about to go do an alignment on the Q50. Alrighty guys, here's the full specs of it. Front and rears. As you can see, the toe was ridiculously out. And then after that, final numbers over here. Alright, let's ready for a test drive. Alright guys, so now that we got the end result of the Q50, I want to give my full opinion on this because it's been about 3 to 4 weeks now. We got the alignment done, we wait for the springs to settle in, all that other good stuff. And now it's pretty good actually. So as you can see here, even though it fails the shoe test with my little jandals on, it's pretty nice because when you hit bumps or when you have fat people sitting in the back, it still slightly rubs, not much. The front, it kind of, yeah, oh, we don't talk about that. Anyways, that's pretty much it on my side of it. Tyler, do you want to take away some little advice?
So my opinion for the installation, it was pretty easy if you know how to just do basic coilovers and springs. But the only issue we had, not necessarily issue, but alignment we had was when we did the rears, aligning the control arms and the tension rods, it was hard putting back because it was still on the old alignment. So I had to loosen the alignment bolts to get the main nut and bolt in for the tension arms and all that. And for me personally, I would not recommend get springs if you want to go low, because this is not low enough for most people. So I just say put up the money, $1,000 to get some BC coils and do it properly, and it'll be, you know, camber in, and you could adjust camber and all that. But other than that, it came out pretty well. So
yeah, just to take note from that, these are the RSR down springs. RSR actually has a super down, which goes a lot more aggressive on their lowness, but I heard some stories about the shocks getting blown out within like 50 to 100,000 miles, even though this car is still brand new. Other than that, I just recommend you do your research extensively. This is a 2.0, so the rear setup is a true coil setup on there. I'm not sure how VC coils right, because I actually had this VCs on the car and they rode like garbage. So that's why I went with the springs. I'm content with the way that it looks right now. We'll just move on to another mod. Other than that, we'll see you on the next episode. Like, subscribe, comment, don't comment like I always say. Other than that, peace!
bye. Four jack stands, a jack stand,
And the impact gun right there.
An impact gun.
Yeah, take
Alright,
the,
hold
take,
that
take the
fucked
shit
up.
off of you.
I fucked up.
It's like,
I fucked up.
okay. I'm about to make some bloopers in this shit, bro. Get out bloopers in this hole, bro.
No, I said jack stand twice. I was like, what the fuck? Alright, guys.
You're nervous, that's why. Hey, is this memory card empty?
No. Alright. So, come on. My turn now. Alright, so we got 4 springs right there. Some of the tools we need is an assortment of sockets,
Slow down,
wrenches,
there's no rush.
all the other good stuff. And then we have our jack stand.
Snap a doodle doo.
Yeah, this is gonna take way longer than 3 hours, bro.
Cause y'all are